I'm sure we're straying a little bit from NIL here, but I'm sure that when you came out of or came into politics and came into the House, did you expect it to be more collaborative like it was when you were an athlete and everybody is kind of playing towards everybody on even on the same team is always kind of playing for one goal, you would hope. Has it been a different experience than you expected?
Not really. I was expecting chaos. I was expecting the exact frustrations that we're having. Honestly, I thought it would be I didn't think it'd be this crazy. I mean, if you would have told me that when I showed up, that within 2.5 years, I would have experienced the longest government shutdown in American history, 2 impeachments, an insurrection, disputed election. I mean, if you had walked through all that, I would have said, yeah, there's no way like that in the next 2 years. That's crazy. But unfortunately, we have devolved into that. I will say, on a more optimistic note, I came here to be a problem solver, to be I'm conservative, I'm Republican, I don't shy away from that, been that way my whole life. But I come to this with a mindset of trying to find agreement and common ground based primarily on my experiences in the locker room and knowing, what it's like to be in an environment where folks don't feel the same way about all these issues, but you find a way to come together and move towards a common goal and a common objective, and you can attain some incredible successes, life-changing successes, if you're able to do that. And so I come to this job with that mindset, and I have found ways to be effective. I passed more bills than any freshman Republican in all of Congress last cycle. And the reason was because everything I do, I try to do bipartisan. I do it from the ground up, put in the work, try to keep my name out of the headlines, and just be a workhorse. And those are things that I learned. Like I said, I learned that at Ohio State. I learned it in the NFL. And there are enough people here doing that you can get some things through. I wish all members had that aspect or had that mentality. Unfortunately, there are others who kind of have the opposite mentality, which is like this scorched earth, my way or the highway, 100% or zero sort of mentality. I find that to be less productive, and most people I know think it sets the country back. So, I choose to do it a different way.
So, Anthony, when you have this view on why you're there and how you go about your business, when you have your state party in Ohio vote to censure you, what effect, if any, does that have on you? How does that affect how you go about your business and your job?
It doesn't. I mean, look, like, I'm trying to enact legislation that's going to make our community and our country better and stronger. Like, when I'm in this job, I'm thinking about how do we make ourselves more competitive against China? How do I make sure that we have better jobs, more jobs in Northeast Ohio? How do I make sure that we're safer, that we have a strong defense, that our constitutional structure is in order, that we protect the homeland, we protect our troops, we take care of our veterans? Those things are so much more important than any censure vote or anything that anybody is going to lob at me from a criticism standpoint. So I keep my head down, I go to work, I work hard, and I try to deliver for my district. And everything else is just noise. And maybe that's from football too, because you're used to hearing the chatter from the outside. But I stay focused on my constituents, I stay focused on my legislation, and obviously stay focused on my job. So that's what I've always done. That's what I'll always do. There'll be an election soon. Everybody gets to have their voice. That's the beauty of democracy. And we'll see where it goes.